All right, what's going on, man? Ultimo Gallows here, DIY Mississippi Film Works. I'm gonna throw this out there. How many of y'all got? I'm gonna explain the origin of DIY Mississippi Film Works. All right, started filming matches in 2014, and what it was, I was taking pictures at shows. One show, me and my buddy were sitting way up the top of these bleachers, and I was like, you know what? My camera's does video. Let me see. And I filmed the last match. It was a Power Slam production show in Liberty, Mississippi. One of the ones I was at the school. And I got the matches over. I talked to Reggie, who, at the time, Reggie and Wes Adams were the co-owners of Power Slam Productions. I think Wes only's the only one that owns it now. I was like, hey, I'll film it actually mount up. Like, no, go ahead, man. Feel free. Cool. Well, I uploaded and said, I enjoy doing this. And people were like, hey, this is cool. Wrestling that you don't get to see. Because at the time, Power Slam was filming all their matches, but they'd put out DVDs, but you had to be at the shows to buy them. Reggie, burn them himself. And it was a good deal. It was $5 to $10. Cording them. I think it was just cording what new the guy was selling was that day. So I was putting this stuff up, and I was putting it up on the channel was Funaki John Paul. Just, it was a joke. One of the guys I met, got to know well, they did Renaissance photography, named John Paul LeBlanc. Check him out, Four Corner Photography. Does great pictures. Knows a lot of history. Kind of temperamental, but hey, aren't we all? Well, I was doing that, and after a while, I was like, you know what? I really need to come up with something better than this. I need a company. Because a buddy of mine, Kobe Rutland, he came up with Body Slam Media Productions. He had a channel called BMP something. And he's like, the BMP stands for Body Slam Media Productions. Okay. So I was trying to think of a name. I was like, well, you know what? I've always been, since I was young, I got into punk rock music when I was fairly young. I mean, I saw the Ramones and was it 79 or 80 when they showed up with Sean and I saw them then, got into the Ramones, then got into the Pistols and the Misfits and Black Flag and Dead Kennedys and the Germs and all these millions of other bands. And part of the punk scene is you do it yourself. Nobody else is going to do it, you do it yourself. So I was like, hey, I like DIY, that's cool. And the original name of the company was DIY Mississippi Fan Cams. And I wanted it to be the initials to be DIY MF. For mother. Well, I started up, I named it that. Got a couple matches uploaded. A good buddy of mine, Big Ramp, Ben Brant, 504. Check him out on YouTube. He's like, dude, you just change that name. I'm like, he goes, man, fan cam just don't sound professional enough. I was like, okay. I go, I want to keep the initials. He goes, well, come on with something else that begins with an F. I was like, oh, Filmworks. And yes, it's a mouthful. I know that, and people always mess it up. I don't care. DIY Mississippi Filmworks. That's what it became. And with that name, I can film anything, put it up. But that channel is, this channel, it's all wrestling-related stuff. Well, not that long ago, I'm at a wrestling show. This is one where I just went to hang out. Went to hang out, helped set up stuff before the show started. Matter of fact, my good buddy, James, down the road. That's what's weird. We've lived within 5 minutes of each other since I moved here. We met at a show in town. Started talking and realized we're about the same age. We both love wrestling. Now, he's a sports guy. I'm not. He likes fish. I don't. But we love wrestling, and we're close to the same age, so we started bullshitting. So he's like, hey, you want to go to Natchez for a show? Sure. And I was like, well, look, our buddy of mine, Donovan, Fairchild Donovan Moore, would love to go. He's like, all right, he can ride with us. So I told Donovan, everybody want to meet at my house. We went. While I was there, one of the wrestlers, Frankie Thomas, who's one of the best wrestlers in the Deep South. This guy, he can work face, he can work heel, he can get a good match with anybody. And he's one of those guys that, in my eyes, he should have been signed 10 years ago. He's that good. And he's got an added bonus. His wife is his manager. And she knows how to get heat. Their gimmick down here is, he's from Alabama, and the Roll Tide, Alabama Crimson Tide, which gets you heat around here. But what I don't get, we're in Mississippi, but people, to piss them off, chant LSU at him. I'm like, man, what the fuck? That's Louisiana. I'm like, if you're going to do that, fuck it. I'm out in the crowd chanting, MIT, MIT. I was like, you got at least, chant for a good college. And the few people that get the joke are like, I like that. So he had a table set up. I walked over, and his wife was running. And one of them was Frankie's daughter. I don't know who the other girl was. And I saw these wrestling magazines. I was like, hey, his wife's name's Brittany. It's like, Brittany, I want these 3 magazines. What's Frankie want them? She goes, I really don't know. She goes, tell you what, I'll put them to the side. After our match, come back over. I'll ask Frankie, Or he goes, I'm sure he don't want much. I'm thinking, okay, he's going to want about 5 each. Well, I come over after the match, and he had a great match. He faced Eddie Martinez. Great match. Probably match of the night to me. I come back over there. She goes, yeah, he wants 5 each. I was like, all right, well, I'll pull down. I go, I got a 20. She goes, I don't have any change. Because she was still wearing her wrestling outfit, which was like some booty shorts, Alabama zip up, and like a t-shirt underneath. And she checked like her bra. She goes, I don't have any change. I'm like, tell you what, I'll just get 4 and give you 20. She goes, how about you just get all of them for 30? And it was like 12 magazines. Like, yeah, that'll work. Because I figured, I'll keep a couple. The rest of these, I'll throw out on my table and sell them on my ass, $5 a piece. So if you're watching this going, man, Newt's ripping us off, or Gallows, whatever you know me as. Not really. $5 is a good price because, these are all from $91.92. They're $2 cover price. You buy these on eBay, you're going to pay $5 for shipping a piece. Let's get into this. This is The Wrestler, January 92, which means it came out probably in May. From the publishers of Pro Wrestling Illustrated. Number 2, just won't do for Rick Rude. The U.S. title belt means failure. Meet wrestling's hottest new woman. The Legion knew their decade of stretching will not end with a whimper. Okay, so this is... Now, this got published in May, so this is before Beach Blast 92, which is the best pay-per-view ever. Biased because I was there. Let's check it out. What we got? Yeah. There's the openers, all 3 mags. You can get up to all 3 mags for a year for $46.95. Nowadays, PWI only comes out 6 times a year. It probably costs that much for a year. Got our letters. Don Owens. WCW newcomer Scotty Flamingo is talking about challenging Flying Brown Pillman for the light heavyweight championship. Surfer most recently competed in Global. That is Raven. Oh God, Dr. D, David Schultz, Pat Patterson, Vince McMahon. Oh, this is great. More Teflon now. Scandal begun Teflon spray. There's old Hulkster. The WWF used Hogan and his superior physique to sell souvenirs and vitamins to young children. But if Hogan is guilty of steroid abuse, then WWF is missing the point. Yeah, Hogan was using steroids. Hell, most of them were. A lot of them still are. And my whole thing is, fuck it. If they want to put it in their body and damage their body, let them do it. The only person that hurts himself, let them do it. And it ain't just for, the muscle mass. Steroids help you heal a lot faster, speed up your reaction time, all that shit. I had bad case of strep throat when I was out of high school, and I got prescribed, inhaled steroid for that. If you have an asthma inhaler, there's steroids in that. Eastern Championship Wrestling has picked up admirably with a lamented Tri-State Wrestling Alliance left off. Remember Vivacious Veronica, the woman who formerly managed both Stunning Steve Austin and Eddie Gibbons? She's been showing up unannounced at ringside and talking some serious trash. Probably one of the first time they mentioned these things. Eastern, not, Can't tell them apart. Lightning Kid and Belial, famous star of the basket. They're saying that, okay, Lightning Kid and Sean Waltman, the Xbox, the 1, 2, 3 kid, they're saying he looks like Belial from Basket Case. That's great. Hey, thumbs up and thumbs down. This is, Wrestler's my favorite of the PWI mags. I love these. Okay, let's see. Thumbs up to Owen Hart. While we try to remain unbiased, we have to admit that rooting for Owen Hart as he makes his way up the WWF ladder. The reason, who wouldn't want to see a match between Hart and Ric Flair? Two of the finest scientific wrestlers this sport has ever seen. Surely a Hart-Flair match would go on forever, and these men would have the stamina to wrestle that long. Hart's career has seen numerous valleys and only a few peaks. He's a talented aerial wrestler who keeps flying into dead ends. Maybe his time has finally come, then our time will come. Thumbs up to Coco Beware. The way the USWA title changes hands, a little surprised that Beware dropped the title to Kamala. Hey, Kamala. Still, you must congratulate the Bear Man on winning the USWA belt, his first ever. That's right, Coco Beware has never won a singles title before, beating Kamala on February 24th in Memphis. A lot was on the line in their Bird versus title match, but Ware obviously wouldn't have risked his fine feathered friend if he wasn't sure of victory. After all, Kamala, a bird is a meal. But Ware wrestled the most determined match of his life, and now he can say he's good as anyone. All right, thumbs down. Let's see, Luger. Thumbs down, Lex Luger. Nothing worse than a potentially great wrestling career and before it's time. That's why we felt pretty bad when Luger announced his retirement. Since his rookie year in '85, Luger's career has been played by mismanagement and association with the wrong kind of people. His career isn't resumed. Luger's resume will show one tainted WCW world title reign of 4 U.S. title reigns. There could be more. There should be more. Here, as it turns out, is one of the most disappointing short careers we've ever seen. Thumbs down to USWA matchmaker Eddie Marlin. The stipulation battle royal has no place in wrestling, but Marlon apparently feels that anything that will put people in seats is fair game. In these battle royals, the only way to win was to strip your foes. Strip-a-thon, okay. Strip your foes of their clothes. That's wrestling. Sounds like competitive orgy. Even worse, men and women are appearing together in these matches. Men beating up women, tear off their clothes, sounds more to us like ravaging than wrestling. Well, Eddie, you've done it this time. Now stop these matches before it's too late. Correspondence reports. Tom Pritchard was all business when he took on Dr. W. It wasn't interference by Nurse Ratchet. That's got to be Memphis. You asked us. I have a question for Larry Daxini. What do you think about your son, Kurt, becoming an exclusive executive consultant for Ric Flair? I couldn't be prouder of my boy, the elder Henry responded. Ric Flair, being the intelligent man he is, couldn't have made a better choice. I have a question for Arn Anderson. What are the major similarities and differences between the Dangerous Alliance and the Four Horsemen? The two are similar only in the sense they are both four groups and are both included me, Arn Anderson asked. Differences in many ways. In the Horsemen, I was never quite sure who was in charge. One day it was Flair, the next day J.J. Dillon. Neither of those men wanted anyone to contribute to the decision-making process. The Alliance, on the other hand, is led by Paul E. Dangerously. That's Paul Heyman. No questions asked. However, since we are officially in alliance, Paul encourages all to have a say. Once a decision is ratified by all of us, Paul leads the charge. Oh, man, Gary Young. I love me some Gary Young. Questions for Gary Young. Why did you have to disguise yourself as Big Bertha Young? Are you that starved for attention? In this sport, you have to look anywhere you can for an advantage, Young responded. Bertha may seem like a crazy idea, but she was effective. Hey, I really caught my opponents off guard, didn't I? Big Bertha was the biggest thing to hit global since this federation got its start. Sure, she was the most attractive woman in the world, but she got the job done better than most wrestlers do. All these videos, and man, $40. Not cheap, not cheap. Introducing Sabu. Look at this. Now, this is 92. Question and answers of Greg the Hammer Valentine. LPWA, the best, the all new best of women's professional wrestling. $14 a piece in 30 minutes. Like, damn. Spotlight on the Undertaker. X-ray on Jerry Lawler. I love the X-ray. They take 6 guys and just ask their opinion. Okay, I'm gonna go with Killer Kowalski. I can't stand Lawler, but every so often he comes to his senses wrestling style he's born to wrestling. He started his career as a rule breaker. In 1990, he started busting heads again. He was USWA champion at the time, but now he's signing autographs and shaking hands again. And guess what? He hasn't been able to get past them all. And his tag team with Jeff Jarrett can't beat the Moondogs, so argue with me and you'll be wrong. Lou Thez. What's old Lou got to say here? A fantastic individual. The sport today is populated by what I call the screamer mentality. Guys who get in the ring and scream and holler and spend all their energy before the ring introductions have even started. But Lawler controls his emotions as well as any wrestler I've ever seen. Even when he's fouled, his brilliant mind is only thinking of a way to quickly and cleanly end the match. All I can say is that he's a pro's pro. I agree. Wanted a woman to neutralize Medusa. Experienced individuals sought to counter Dangerous Alliance's director of covert operation must be able to contend against formidable wrestling skills and martial arts, experience in handling double, triple, and quadruple and quintuple teaming's a plus. Medusa. Lundra Blaze for you WWF fans. I'm talking about her career. Gorilla Monsoon for president of the WWF. It's when Jack Tunney was getting ready to step down. Number 2, just want to do for Rick Rude, the U.S. belt means failure. In WWF, he was Intercon champion. WCW's U.S. champion. Always second best, never number one. It's always been Rick Rude's problem. Now he's doing something about it. Not too long after this was published, he had a fucking 30-minute Iron Man match with Ricky Steamboat. That's one of the best matches I've seen live. Really good match. Legion of Doom, their decade of stretching will not end with a whimper. This is when they went to WWF, and honestly, just something was missing. I've never been the biggest Road Warriors fan. And I'll catch shit for this. I prefer Demolition. I think a lot of that was at the peak, the Road Warriors peak. I was not able to see Jim Crockett promotions, WCW, whatever you want to call it. And part of it was the area I grew up in. There was no cable out there till late, like end of November 1990. And for a while, we did get one of the Jim Crockett syndicated shows. I can't remember which one it was now. But we got all the WWF syndicated shows. We got Mid-South, we got Memphis, we got Continental, we got WCCW, we got Florida. So I watched a lot of that. I never saw much of the Road Warrior. And if I'd seen them when I was young, I probably would have loved them. And they did do a lot. Oh, look at that. Typhoon. Taking a walk on the wild side, Nurse Vanessa, the hottest new woman in wrestling. She's just a valet, and she really doesn't do much but stand there and make pulses quicken. But this, for our stunning nurse Vanessa, is writing a prescription for Mayhem, and IWCCW, her employer, Dr. Johnny Wallace, has beneficiary of this devious medical plan. Okay, IWCCW, this is the Voltage group. It was ICW, International Championship Wrestling. And they were kind of known for, they were around for a long-ass time. And it's kind of the place like, okay, you left WWF, but you ain't got signed to WCW or Japan yet, you go there for a little while. And they're also known, there's a match between Tony Aslan and Vic Steamboat where Tony or Vic wins, but I don't remember now, that this match was shown a lot. Like, and it's kind of a prototype for ECW. Like, Taz was Tasmania, he got to start there. Tommy Dreamer got to start there. It was very, very, it's one of those, I haven't seen a lot of what I've seen I like. Matt Brock's looking back. 1978, January 25th, Superstar Grand versus Harley Race. I'm not a Superstar fan. Nurse Vanessa, and she's a nice-looking woman. Late Buzz Sawyer. TV, sports video, wrestling classic. Okay, these are $15 a piece. Okay, these are the ones I had some of these. A lot of old, there's stuff you can find on YouTube now, a lot of old stuff. IWF champion Blackjack Mulligan has had a $25,000 bounty placed in by rival manager Nasty Ronnie. Anyone hospitalized with Mulligan or defeated him for the title will collect. Wrestling Gold. Now this right here. You can find these now. There's a big box set. Go for the box set. Matter of fact, Cornette sells it for like $20 signed. I think he's still got a few. This is old, like Southwestern Championship Wrestling, which was the Blanchards fed. Memphis stuff. Detroit stuff, and what it is, it's all these old matches. It's 70s and 80s, but the thing is, you can watch it with the original commentary, or you could switch your audio commentary, and you get Jim Cornette and Dave Meltzer doing commentary and telling stuff like story. This is probably my most watched wrestling set. Each one of them's about 2 hours. There's 5 of them. It is amazing. I've watched it so many times. I love it, and it's out of print now. And I want to say, I don't think it's ever going to come back in print, but great stuff. Great stuff. I have a question for Nikolai Volkov. I noticed that you returned to WWF for the Royal Rumble in January, then immediately left afterwards. Do you ever plan to compete there full time? I was very fortunate and grateful to receive the chance to participate in the Royal Rumble, Volkov said. Also enjoyed competing in other areas like IWCCW. I do not like being tied down to wrestling in just one place. When this happens, my skills are not as sharp as they should be. Nevertheless, I can one day envision myself returning to WWF on a regular basis. I was very successful there. Iron Sheik and I held the World Tag Team titles in '85. Though I never teamed with that man again, I achieved much more success when I wrestled alone. My questions for Friday. Kamala's handle it. Can't you do something to rein this man in? He's a monster. With all due respect to the young lady, Friday answered. I have Kamala's complete trust. Yes, at times he's difficult to control, but he'll eventually follow my orders. Lately, I'll admit Kamala and I have been somewhat at odds. I am confident we will soon iron out our differences. You must understand Kamala is a savage. He's been out of the wilds quite some time. He still retains much of his past. I do not think I could have done a finer job patrolling the scene that has just regained the USWA title. You should all realize that. USWA was Memphis. They became that when they ended up buying WCCW out of Texas, kind of merging them. And they had 2 shows. There was a show that I think it was every day on ESPN. That was the Texas end. And they had a syndicated and locally shown Memphis end. Rising Sun. Is this the WCW in Japan matches? Introducing Sabu. Tarzan Goto. Gorilla Monsoon. Okay, the rankings. This settles so many arguments in school. Number 1, Ric Flair, he's WWF World Champion. Number 2, Sting, WCW World Champion. Number 3, Roddy Piper. One of the few times he held a belt was WWF Intercontinental. Rick Rude's number 4, U.S. Champion. 5 is Randy Savage, number 2 contender to WWF title. Ron Pillman at 6, WCW Light Heavyweight Champion. 7 is Steve Austin, WCW TV Champion. 8 is Kamala, USWA Champion. 9 is Dark Patriot, Global North American Champion. And 10 is Brian Christopher, USWA Southern and Texas Champion. Okay, tag teams. Arn Anderson, Bobby Eaton are the WCW tag team champions are number 1. Erwin R. Shyster and Ted DiBiase, WWF champions at 2. Number 3 is Natural Disasters, number 1 contenders, WWF champion, WWF title. 4 is Terrence Taylor and Greg Valentine, the WCW US tag champions. Number 5 is Rick and Scott Steiner, number 1 contenders, WCW title. 6 is Terry Sims and Scott Putski. They're the global champ. 7 is the Moondogs. That's the USWA. Which Moondogs are they? I don't know. Samoan SWAT team. Number 2 contenders, or 8. Number 2 contenders for WWF title. Wow, I don't remember them being there. 9, and I don't know which Samoan SWAT team that is. 9 is Jeff Jarrett and Jerry Lawler. Number 1 contenders USWA tag. And 10 is Marcus Alexander Bagwell and Tom Zink. Number 1 contenders US title. And I always like looking at what the other feds they list. Like, okay, you got USWA. And Global had Big TV then. USWA, Pacific Northwest. And who we got? We got Steve Dawes, the champ. Grappler's number 1 contender. Jesse Barnes, number 2. Buddy Rose is 3. Bart Sawyer, 4. Al Madrill, 5. Mike Winter, 6. Brickhouse Brown, 7. John Rambo, 8. Corner De Beers, 9. And Mike Miller, 10. But look at this. ECW. Champion to be determined. Number 1, Jimmy Snuka. Number 2, DC Drake. Number 3, Ivan Koloff. 4 is Larry Winters. 5 is Johnny Hotbody. 6 is JT Smith. 7 is Tony Stetson. 8 is Crybaby Waldo. 9 is Glenn Osborne. 10 is CN Red. I just got it. CN Red. Oh, God. ICWA is a Florida group. Their champion is Dick Slater. Number 1 contenders Kevin Sullivan. The Mighty Hercules. Kendall Windham. Jim Neidhart. Lou Perez. Jim Backlund. That's Jimmy Del Rey. Tex Salinger, that's either Midian or... Oh, God. I think that's Midian. Dean Malenko. Oh, man, Dean Malenko. 9, Hurricane Walker. 10, Star Rider Rock. Now, PWA, that's the Minnesota film, right? Charlie Norris is their champion. Is that Tatanka? I think it might be. Number 1 is Lightning Kid. That is X-Pac, Sean Walton. Derek Dukes is number 2. 3 is Death. 4 is Brad Reagans. 5 is Punisher number 1. 6 is Punisher number 2. 7 is Tommy Fiera. 8 is Larry Cameron. 9 is Tony DiNucci. And 10 is Ricky Rice. PWF, this is the Italian Stallions fed. Of course, Italian Stallions champ. Then George South. Then Mean Mark Canterbury. That's the other. Midian is the other. The Tex Salinger is the Midian or Mark Canterbury. 3 is the Black Scorpion. 4 is Gladiator 2. 5 is Southern Rocker. 6 is Cruel Connection 2. 7 is Trooper Max. 8 is Star Rider. 9 is Hillbilly, and 10 is Wrestling Statue. SAPW. This was South Atlanta Pro Wrestling. Nasty Boys Ready. And this is where Ken Shamrock got started. He was Vince Shoulders Torelli. So we got our champions. Helmut Heisler. Number 1 contenders, Wahoo McDaniel. Then Vladimir Koloff. Not the Vladimir Koloff running around now. This wrestler wasn't as good as this Vladimir Koloff. This is a different one. 3 is the Patriot. 4 is Ivan Koloff. 5 is Rob Van Dam. 6 is Vincent Torelli. 7 is Greg Bobchick. 8 is Tommy Seabolt. 9 is Rough Al Scram. And 10 is Tommy Angel. Oh, shit. What is UIW at? UIW. Never heard of them, but their champion is Axel Rotten. And the Surgeons contender, Bam Bam Bigelow's number 2. Nick Tarantino. 4 is Golden Scorpion. Ricky Blues is 5. 6 is Max Thrasher. 7 is AJ Fritzoid. 8 is Zach Blades. 9 is Rasta the Voodoo Man. And 10 is Bob Starr. And then we're going to go down to Puerto Rico. The champion, of course, is Ron Garvin, the Dick Murdoch, Carlos Colon, Miguel Perez Jr., Dick Slater, Invader 1, Lele, El Ciclone Salvadorino, Fidel Sierra, Roadblock, and Rex King. Now the points. For singles, Lex Luger's got the most points at 75, then Hogan in second place at 66, Ric Flair in third place at 62, Sting with 59, and Bret Hart. And the ratings are based on the past 10 issues of the mag. Ratings analysis. Welcome to new guys. Effective immediately you'll be seeing 3 promising new feds enter the gate ratings of our entire family magazine. Join the PWA, SAPW, ICW, and WWC, our Eastern Championship Wrestling, new independent league based in Philadelphia. This is welcoming news from Matt fans in the city of brotherly love as ECW features, most of the stars of the now defunct Tri-State Wrestling Alliance. Appearing on the first ECW cards were Jimmy Jannetty, Tony Stetson, DC Drake, Larry Winters, Johnny Hotbody, and JT Smith, as well as former WWF World Champion Ivan Koloff. The Professional Wrestling Federation, which promotes cards all times weekly in Virginia and West Virginia. The Heavyweight Champion of the League is Italian Stallion, formerly WCW. Junior Heavyweight Champion is Gorgeous George South. He's competed in WWF and WCW. He runs AML now. Universal Independent Wrestling, based in Baltimore, promotes cards throughout Maryland and Pennsylvania. Current champion is Axel Rotten. Deleted from the gate ratings least for now are the IWA and LPWA, which have become promotionally inactive in recent months. Of course, these federations return to take on a heavier schedule. And Pro Wrestling Weekly, and then we got the number. Hope y'all enjoy. I know these are always long, but I love doing these. And as I always say, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment. And the reason I ask for that is that helps in the YouTube algorithm. A thumbs up or thumbs down don't matter. If you hate the video, give me a thumbs down. That counts as interaction. It helps boost more chance that people are going to see this. And I love doing these. And if you're out there and you got a bunch of old wrestling magazines, you don't want anymore, you don't want a fortune for them, leave a comment below and we'll work out a deal. I don't mind paying X amount per magazines plus cover shipping. I want more of these, and like I said, I'll do videos on them, and the ones I don't want to keep, I'll sell them. I'm out, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that. Laters.